In this video, I'm going to show you how to lay out a presentation sheet. This is a different type of drawing than what you would give to, say, a builder to have something built. A presentation drawing would be something that you would present to a client or to an instructor, and it would basically be explaining the design intent. So that's what we're going to do. We'll take a series of drawings and we'll arrange them on a sheet. So currently I'm in a file. I have a project right here that is set within a context of urban city blocks. And I've also got in this file the elevations. I've got one rendering. You may have more than one in your file. And basically I'm going to begin to set up these various views for layout into a presentation sheet. All right, I have inserted a CAD drawing that shows the entire site, and I'm actually going to delete that file, so I'll be left just with my project. I had constructed some masses that are basically representing city buildings, and what I'm going to do is turn those on. So right now I'm in level 1. I'm going to go to the visibility graphics and I'm going to scroll down to where it says mass and make sure that that is on and visible. Okay, so now they're appearing. Right, now the first thing that I want to do is to create a sheet. All right, so if I go down in the project browser till I find sheets, and if I right click, I'll get an option to create a new sheet. Okay, when I get to this this window, it tells me that there's basically one sheet size that's already loaded into the file. And what I want to do is load a different size. This is going to be too big for my needs. So what I do is click on load, and when this window appears, scroll down to title blocks, double click to open that folder, and I'm going to choose a 22 by 34 inch sheet, and then I'm going to click on open. All right, so it will populate this list of title blocks, and I can say okay. All right, so what it's going to do is bring in this title block. There's a lot of information here that I'm not going to need because, again, I'm making a presentation drawing. So this title block content can basically be removed. How do you remove it? Simply click on the title block and then edit the family. All right, once you're inside that family, you can make a window around the content. I want to leave the title border here, but everything else can be eliminated. Okay, looks like I erased it, so what I'll do is I'll just make a copy of the vertical line from this side, and I'll put one back over here. Okay, so I'm going to have a pretty clean sheet. The only information that will be on the sheet in addition to the drawings is a detail number and detail title. So I can load that back into the project, overwrite the existing version. That's okay. If you were setting up sort of office protocols, you might give it a new name, but for the purposes of this exercise, we can just overwrite the existing one. All right, so what you'll see is in the sheets list of sheets, I now have one that's called A101 unnamed. And what I'm going to be doing is dragging the drawings to this sheet and arranging them. So one thing that you'll want to do is go through and make sure your scales are correctly identified, whether it's 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, etc. And you can go through that. I'm going to have 2 plans, and I'm also going to have a set of sections, some renderings, and possibly some elevations. Okay, so to set up the sections, let's do that next. I'm going to zoom in here, and what I have is my floor plan along with this column grid. The column grid I'm not going to need, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that column grid off. I'm going to hide that category in this view. Okay, and I'm also going to cut some sections. So basically I want to make some cuts through my building, and then I'll drag those sections to the presentation sheet. If I click on View, I have this option to generate a section, and I'll do that here. I'm going to make my section in this location. Okay. So this is going to indicate what will be included in the section. So if part of your model is cut off, you can stretch this. You can also make adjustments later. And what I should see is that there is now a section in my project browser. There's section number 1. Okay. Now next, I'll show you how to bring these files into, or these views rather, into the sheet. So I'm going to go back to my sheet, A101, and I'm going to start to drag content. All right. So just from here, I hold down the left click button and drag that view into the sheet. All right. Now, what you'll notice is that I have a much bigger drawing than I need. So it's included a lot of content that I do not want. So the way to resolve that issue is to do one of two things. We can go back to level 1. We can turn on the crop region. Right? This is what was dragged to the sheet. If I want a smaller area, I can bring it in much closer. Okay. Like so. And now when I go back to the sheet, right, I can see that my crop window is much smaller. Now, you might need to bring it in even closer than what we see here on the screen. Right, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click on an element here, right click, hide category. I want to see that. And then I'm going to start to bring this in even closer. Okay. Now what you might have on your drawing is a site plan, and in that case maybe you want to see more of the image. But for the purposes of our sheet, we're just going to focus on the plans and the section and the renderings. Okay. Let's go back to the sheet. Okay, there's my drawing.